Okay, so now we're moving into Chapter 8, and Chapter 8 is the digestive system and nutrition. So I'm trying to get you there. Now you can see it as a slideshow. Okay, so overview of the digestive system. So the digestive system is really a big tube, or the book calls it a garden hose, and it starts at your mouth and it goes all the way through to your anus. Okay, and then there are accessory organs that help with it, like your teeth and pancreas and gallbladder. They dump into it. Okay, so what happens through the digestive system is the food passes through it and it's broken down. Another word to describe the breaking down is called hydrolyzed. And the idea is that we're going to take these complex macromolecules and we're going to break them down into smaller molecules that can get absorbed. Okay, what we can't absorb and we can't use is considered waste, and that's going to be eliminated through your anus, through defecation. Okay, so there are five main processes that we have to talk about. The first one is ingestion. So we start at the mouth, we take the food in, and then we're going to start to digest it. So there's two kinds of digestion. One is the mechanical breakdown, so that's chewing it up, and the other is chemical breakdown. And chemical breakdown occurs with enzymes. So the enzymes are going to break down like the carbohydrates into glucose molecules. Okay, now I have peristalsis here. So peristalsis is a type of movement, and it works to help digest food and to move it along. Okay, so movement. So the food has to move along the GI tract. If it stops anywhere, it's going to cause problems. Peristalsis is a kind of movement. Okay, absorption is how food gets moved from the GI tract into to the blood and then to the cells. And then elimination is also defecation, is how we get rid of things that we can't digest. Okay, now there are four major layers that are going to make up the wall of the GI tract. Okay, so this hole in the middle where the food's going to pass, that's called the lumen. Okay, now the mucosa is the innermost layer. Okay, and it's mucousy. It provides enzymes, and it's going to be where the food gets absorbed. Okay, now the submucosa, so sub is below, so submucosa is below the mucosa, and it has blood vessels, so that's where the nutrients will go to. It has nerves in it. It also has lymphatic vessels that have some immune response. The third layer is the muscularis. Okay, so the muscularis is muscle. Okay, so for the most part, our GI tract has two layers of muscle. One is round, okay, and the other is longitudinal. So it's going to allow us to squeeze our food and to push it along. Okay, and then the serosa is the outermost layer, and that's the peritoneum, the visceral peritoneum. It's a serous membrane that lies on the outside of the digestive tract. It produces serous fluid, which is going to reduce friction. So you don't feel your stomach, you feel things moving through your stomach, but you don't feel like your intestines rubbing against your body cavity. Okay, now here, this is the same picture again, it's just bigger. So here's the layers. Okay, the lumen is the hole, the mucosa, okay, submucosa, the muscularis, and then the outer layer is the serosa. Okay, so your whole digestive tract, this is what the layers are. There are some variations, but they're all pretty much the same. Okay, now here's a big picture thing. So if we start at the mouth, okay, the teeth are going to chew the food, the tongue's going to taste it, it's going to push your food back. Salivary glands are going to secrete saliva, and the saliva has enzymes in it that are going to help digest carbohydrates. Okay, now behind your mouth, the tube that's going to go down to either your trachea or your esophagus is called the pharynx. So the pharynx is like a funnel, so it goes from your mouth all the way down. Okay, your esophagus is the food tube. Okay, so that's the food passageway. So the muscles are going to constrict and push the food down. Okay, and then it'll go to your stomach. So the stomach is going to churn the food, it makes acids, and then the food's going to be called chyme. So chyme is chyme. Okay, so the chyme's going to leave the stomach. Okay, it's going to go through to the small intestines. Okay, and small intestines is where most of the digestion and the absorption of nutrients occurs. Okay, so it's really, really long. We call it small because it's narrow, but it's really long. Okay, and then from the small intestines we'll go to the large intestines. Okay, and the large intestines are wide. The large intestines really just absorbs water and salt. Okay, and then the rectum is where feces are going to come out to the anus. Okay, now accessory organs. So we got salivary glands. Okay, the liver. Here's the liver. Okay, so it's going to process and store some nutrients like glycogen, glucose. Okay, it's going to make bile. So bile is important for us to digest fats. It's also going to make some digestive enzymes that we have to use. The gallbladder is under your liver, okay, and it stores bile. So the liver makes it, and if you're not eating a fatty meal, the bile gets stored in the gallbladder for the next time you do eat a fatty meal. Okay, and then the pancreas. And the pancreas, it kind of looks like a leaf, but it's behind the stomach, so it's this yellow thing here. The pancreas makes lots of enzymes that are going to help us break down our food, digest our food. It also makes insulin and glucagon, which are going to help regulate our blood sugar level. Okay, now, so here's pathway of food. I just told you that. So we start at the mouth, and we go to the pharynx, down to the esophagus, down to the esophagus, the stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. So that's important. Okay, now we need to start the mouth, but I'm going to stop here and save it.